Please keep your comments to 3 minutes.
Meeting is being recorded.
Is there anyone that would like to speak? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to approval of the consent agenda.
This is Tammy. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Peggy, I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, old business. Consideration, discussion, resolution 22-06, approving the agreement between the Village of New Glarus and New Glarus Area School District regarding payment of the water utility impact fee. Drake?
The school district is proceeding with the development of their plans for the construction of a new 4K through 2nd grade primary school. As noted during the public water system presentation on 2/16/22 to the village board, the village engineer has recommended the village proceed with the construction of a water storage facility in conjunction with any significant new development. The village has already begun the process of completing a public water facility needs assessment, which will inform the future design of an impact fee to ensure there is an equitable distribution of costs among existing and future users. The village board has also approved the commencement of the preliminary design of a future water storage facility. This agreement that is included in your packet stipulates the school district agrees to pay the future impact fee as calculated and adopted in ordinance. This agreement does not constitute an approval of the school site plan. The school district has not yet submitted a formal application for site plan approval to the village. The school district's team is in the process of submitting drawings, plans, and concepts to the village's staff and engineers for feedback as they develop their site plan application. This agreement only encompasses the school district agreeing to pay the future water impact fee as designed by the village and deemed equitable by the PSC. Action on this agreement does not affect site plan review. Full site plan review must still occur. The school district has indicated this agreement is important to their project so they can be reasonably sure of their costs related to the construction of the water tower and adjust the building and site plan as necessary. The school district board has approved this agreement at their meeting last night. When the school district submits their site plan, the application comes before the Village Plan Commission. Site plan review and approval is governed by section 305-94 of the village's code. Per this section, site plan approval is issued, site plan approval includes items such as site layout, parking areas, lighting, landscaping, elevations, building design, adequacy of utility plans, etc. Through the process of site plan review, the Plan Commission determines if any additional approvals, typically related to the installation of infrastructure or a exemption from the code, those have to be forwarded to the village board prior to the Plan Commission's issuance of the site plan approval. Development agreement will also be necessary for this project, and that would be approved by the village board. I am happy to answer any questions there may be.
This is Peggy, and I will vote no on this again until we have some publicity on it to the citizens. When we have a road project, we inform the citizens, we talk to the citizens, we discuss, and then we move forward. There has been nothing. I have talked with 2 school board members, told them that I have nothing against approving this. I just feel that we are not in a procedure which is transparent to the villagers. So until we have that, and until the villagers know, I vote no. And until we have the water impact fee, I will vote no. Thank you.
This is Chuck. I'm going to defer to agreement with Peggy as she is the chair of our Public Works Committee, which has oversight over the utilities. Some of what she said, I warned you about weeks ago, transparency about closed meetings regarding this, which were totally unnecessary. And now we can start from scratch and make these things public. So no, at this point, I'm not going to vote in favor of this either.
I guess to clarify, are you seeking a public hearing on this agreement in general or a public hearing on the school district's project?
Are you asking me?
Peggy more so, but I'd welcome feedback from any board members.
This is Peggy again. I would like some sort of an informational meeting. Perhaps we could have that before the next board meeting, and if the villagers come, they do. If not, then we have done our due diligence in presenting them with the information of a very expensive move and change. Part of my feeling stems from people who I work with and am associated with, who have wondered why we were in 2 closed sessions and then we're voting on something. And at that point in the closed session, I really couldn't comment, but then when it was on the agenda, I did, and they said they had no idea. I am not going to vote in favor of something that the villagers have no idea about. Not that what we're voting on is something that shouldn't be approved. It is just the procedural policy that we established as a governing body, and this just doesn't seem to follow suit in respect of the villagers.
So I'm just trying to kind of narrow down what you would like the informational meeting to entail. Would you like it to include simply information about this agreement, or information about the water tower, or something else?
Yes, I would like it to include how we stand as a village in terms of the necessity for a water tower, what that water tower will cost, how this will impact us in terms of us financially, and why we are moving in this direction. So if no one shows, then we don't have anything to say. If people do show up, then we can present that. But we have done what is necessary to do in terms of transparency. If we had this if this was open on an agenda and we discussed it and then had a meeting the following, or it was open, I would have no problem with that, because then it was presented to the villagers. But this way, I just can't go forward without having somebody know about it, or having the villagers know about it.
We had an open meeting last week, 2 weeks ago. We had an open meeting in regards to the water needs. This is just related to the water and the water. So we actually voted and went ahead with more planning towards the water tower. This is just asking the school. This particular part is just clarifying with the school that if they go through with their plans, that we would like them to pay an impact fee that's realistic to today's costs. So you're talking about almost 3 different things, and I'm starting to get confused too, because there is the school that wants to be built, and there's a lot of things that maybe we would like them to share with us before we approve their plans. There's the fact that the village, upon looking upon the growth that we have now and anticipate in the very near future, not just the school, but all of the different possible subdivisions that might start building now that the economy's building. And that's why we're going forward with building the water tower. It was just that the school kind of triggered us to review something that actually happened in 2008. So I'm a little confused as to why we're pinging all of that onto this one particular agreement, which is just to let the school go ahead with its plans.
Well, we don't have any information on the impact study at this point, and the school district was the impetus for all of this, which was in two closed sessions, and so I feel that
Last session was open. We had it completely explained last meeting in the open.
it did not, I did not feel that what we discussed in closed session was actually what was discussed in that open session. So I feel that I don't see how this is an issue. 30 minutes for an informational meeting, if no one shows, fine. But a part of it has been impacted by the fact that the people that I have come in contact with that I know seem to be very much in the dark about what's going on. So I feel I would be better serving them by moving forward in that direction.
So I guess if that's the will of the board, so this Thursday, prior to the post messenger's deadline, I could put some type of notice in there that there will be a public informational session on the public water facilities in the village. I'll make sure that the engineer can attend as well and provide a presentation on the water system, and then also have a discussion, you know, following that, also have a discussion of this agreement and the payment of the impact fee by the school district, if that would be designed in the future. Would that satisfy what you're looking for?
Yes, I think that would be appropriate, Greg.
If the board would like to go that direction, I can prepare that notice, and the March 15th meeting, we can have that informational session.
How do we move forward? Do we just make a motion?
If there's consensus, I can take that as direction and make that happen. If you would like to have a motion to hold a public informational session on the public water system, you can, but I don't believe it's necessary. I can just start that process and place it on the agenda.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. So with that being said, I guess we'll just move on to item 6, and we'll put it on the agenda that we'll look at it on the 15th with a public informational meeting beforehand. So, okay, item 6, new business. Consideration, discussion, award of 9th Avenue reconstruction project to Madrell Excavating.
The bidding for the 9th Avenue project closed on February 11th at 11 o'clock a.m. The village received 6 bids. Madrell Excavating submitted the low bid of $1,205,618.80. The bid tab is included in your packet. Following the award, we will begin working with Ellers to secure financing for the project. Administration is recommending award of the project to Madrell Excavating.
Come on, Peggy.
This is Henry. I'll make a motion to approve the award to Madrell.
I'm Michael Bell, will second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item B, discussion consideration, resolution 22-7, 9th Avenue Reconstruction Project Preliminary Resolution relating to special assessments and charges.
The 9th Avenue reconstruction project does include the issuance of special assessments to property owners for certain components of the improvements. This resolution allows the village engineer to finalize the engineering report and proceed to the special assessment public hearing. At the public hearing is when we hear, obviously, from the members of the public who would like to comment on their special assessment. And then following that public hearing, the public hearing occurs at Public Works Public Safety. And following that public hearing, the committee makes a recommendation to the village board on what special assessments to issue. So this resolution does not approve the special assessments. It's a administrative function that's required for the engineer to complete their engineering report and prepare for the public hearing. The public hearing, I believe, is scheduled to occur in April, I believe.
This is Henry. I'll make a motion to approve resolution 22-07.
This is Peggy. I will second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9, President's Report. Consideration, discussion, return to in-person meetings of Village Board. I guess I kind of brought this up with the mask mandate going off, but I really wouldn't want to look at anything till in April possibly. I guess I'm kind of looking to see what the rest of the board members think. We'd have to have the meetings back in the community room and then maybe make masks optional when you were speaking. But, so I guess I'm kind of looking for what the rest of the board thinks.
This is Chuck. I think you're right on the community room, the larger room, and masking. I'm just, my main concern is that Greene County is still high activity COVID, while I don't know why everyone around us seems to have leveled off to a lower status. But I think we could, at the very least, have our next meeting with March 15th by Zoom and see how things look and maybe decide to open up for the April meeting.
This is
My only request of the village board to consider is perhaps starting in the second meeting in April, simply because we will be setting up for the election, and with the barriers we put up and the route we put up, it is a pretty extensive process. So if we could have it in the second meeting in April, so that we have ample time to clean that room and prepare it for board meetings following the election. Otherwise, the election occurs the day before that village board meeting, I believe. So I think the clerk's office might appreciate just a little bit extra time to clean and put everything back in order.
Yeah, I think I forgot about the election. Although, if I'm not mistaken, election days are always Tuesdays,
Correct.
and our meetings are always Tuesdays.
When there's an election on the same day, it gets pushed to the Wednesday following.
Is that written in stone, or is that something we vote on? I'm just want to clarify. I'm not.
I think we just bring it to the board, Chuck, and then we, like a meeting or two before, and then we agree whether we want to have it the Wednesday after.
Okay.
Is that an order?
I just wanted to clarify that item, but I agree. Maybe we should make it to the following meeting in April, at which time, if I'm not mistaken, the new board will be seated.
That's correct.
Okay.
This is Peggy. At that time, would we make masks optional if we have it in the community room, even if the numbers go down, or would we open it up to no mask? Or would we wait then before we make that decision?
How about if we decide that at our next meeting?
Okay, sounds good. The other,
That'll give us 2 weeks more of information to.
great. The other, just personal, I have a difficult time hearing in that community room, and if the numbers do go down, I would prefer it in the meeting room, but if it doesn't work, that's fine, but that would be my preference. But then on the other hand, we'll have to wait till we make that decision as a governing body, so.
I'd have to agree with you here, Peggy. I have a hard time hearing in that room as well, and I would much rather stay on Zoom and be able to hear everyone than go into a giant room and hardly be able to hear people and be covered up so I can't even read their lips.
Good point.
Mr. President, my question would be, as a department head, is there any way that village could make these like a hybrid? I know a lot of times there's speakers from Madison or architect firms, as well as, department heads that normally aren't working at night that have to come in. I mean, it's not a big deal, but I think if it was a hybrid format, would probably be the easiest for everybody. An example being if also a board member or somebody's under the weather or feeling ill or something, they could still attend, but yet without risking anything to everybody else involved. Again, it's just kind of a question / suggestion, I guess.
It's very difficult with the technology that we have. It's very difficult to accommodate. If we use the webcam and television that we have, it doesn't necessarily pick up the audio of individual speakers that are seated further away from it. I've experimented with it in the boardroom to see if it's something that we could do, but I think without a additional investment in technology purchases, I don't think at this time it's possible.
I know for us, some of that funds from that COVID money, Drake, was available. Do you know, is there anything left that the village may have access to improve that system?
From the initial grant money, there is not, no.
Okay, thanks. It was, I guess, just a question. Thank you.
Well, I guess let's just kind of think about it, and we'll put on the agenda for the 15th, and we'll see where it goes, and we'll just keep an eye on it. Maybe in April maybe we'll stay at Zoom for a while yet, but at some point, let's think about it and move forward. Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. Item B, excuse me, I gotta put my glasses on. Consideration, discussion, resolution 22-08, recognition of Clerk Treasurer Lynn Erb's years of service to the village of New Glarus. Are you on, Lynn?
I am here.
Okay. Okay, resolution 22-08. Whereas Lynn Erb started as the deputy clerk treasurer on April 11th, 1991, and whereas she was appointed to the position of clerk treasurer on January 1st, 2000, and whereas Lynn will be retiring after 30 years of service to the village, and whereas she has administered over 90 elections on behalf of the voters of the village of New Glarus, and whereas she has assisted in the development and implementation of 23 village budgets as the clerk treasurer of New Glarus, and whereas she is involved in several transformative projects on behalf of the village, including serving as the interim administrator during the development of the tax incremental financial district number 3, one of the most successful districts in the state of Wisconsin, and which was instrumental in the construction of New Glarus Hilltop Brewery. Whereas New Glarus is a better community as a result of her commitment to the village. Now therefore it is resolved, the village board of the village of New Glarus, Greene County, Wisconsin, hereby extends its most sincere thanks to Lynn Erb for her years of service on behalf of our community. The village of New Glarus is grateful for her contributions and dedication to the people, businesses, and elected officials of the village, and will miss her expertise and guidance. Be it therefore resolved, the village board congratulates Lynn Erb on her retirement and extends their best wishes to her on her next chapter. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you. Thanks for the kind words. It's been a pleasure serving the village. I have every confidence in your new staff.
Thank you, Lynn.
You're
We're gonna
welcome.
miss
Thank you.
Lynn.
Yep, thanks. I still got a week yet.
Not that you're counting or anything.
No, not that I'm counting. Thank you, though. It's very kind.
Thanks, Lynn.
You're
Congratulations.
welcome, Lynn.
Thank you.
So is there anything else from?
Yep. You guys are welcome. Thank you for everything.
So we need to formalize this resolution, Roger.
Yes, we do.
I'll move the approval of the resolution.
Second, Tammy.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Is there anything else from the board? Hearing none, we are adjourned.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everyone.